qual facciamo per amor a lui fossi io di penna
Alright everybody, hello and welcome to another cast from Alchemy League Season 6. This season the league was played on just map contest, anything. So whatever the map makers submitted, we've got all kinds of crazy custom map games to show you, or specifically we have 4. As always, they're play all 2, and we cast 2 sets generally per video. So the first one, we're going to show Metal Mania versus Biscuits, also known as the Mighty Space Fruit. So those players that we're going to be looking at are right around here. It's like Biscuits is mid 1600 and Metal Mania is lower 1600. So pretty close. We could expect it to go either way with those two guys probably. And then the second set that we're going to do is Max Power 973, who is upper 1600s, versus Ray, who is lower 1700s. Again, could probably go either way. What can I tell you about the players? Well, Ray and Biscuits are from the United States. Max Power 973 is from Italy. And Metal Mania, I believe, is from somewhere in South America. Argentina, I think, maybe Colombia. he can correct me in the comments. Sorry about that, Metal Mania. Didn't get that right. Actually, you know, I'm gonna check right now just because I have to know. He is from Argentina. Okay, just checked it. So there you go. 2 American players, 1 Italian player, and 1 Argentinian player today. So for maps, in the first set, we're going to see the Thaw and Gugong for Mighty Space Fruit, aka Biscuits, and Metal Mania. And then Ray and Max Power are going to play on Shattered Plains and Shimmerpool. Alright, so I will... Actually, let me go into the Civilization draft for them. So knowing that the Thaw and Gugong are options, they first see what the 5 random admin bans are. Looks like it's going to be Turks, Malays, Sicilians, Ethiopians, and Goths, which are all forbidden. And then they globally ban 2 civilizations each. Biscuits banning Romans and Lithuanians, and Metal Mania banning Dravidians and Aztecs. And then they each pick 2, and then snipe 1, and then pick 2 more. And that left Biscuits with the choices of Burmese, Japanese, and Armenians, and Metal Mania with Byzantines, Koreans, and Britons. So now, let's check out the games. Alright, here we go. So the first map of this set is played on the Thaw. The Thaw was made by Jasuki. I think this is the first map that Jasuki has submitted, or that we've seen of his in Alchemy League. It's just a very open map. What more can I say? You've got these 2 forest clumps, and then importantly the resources are all in line with it, or maybe even outside of it. So you can't like wall from your wood line to your town center and expect to protect your gold, because your gold's going to be out here. And actually, looking at this, I prefer Biscuits' map. He's got a better map. Look, his wood lines are sort of further back, and Metal Mania's wood lines are both quite forward. So that could be unfortunate for Metal Mania. His gold is also very forward. It's almost kind of right next to Biscuits. So I think Metal Mania is going to have to play this pretty aggressively. He's got a reliable gold in the back. And of course there are these larger forests that you can take advantage of, but they are quite far away. Another feature for this map is you've got these ponds. And I think there are 8 ponds in total for all players. Yeah, all players get 8 ponds, and each pond has 1 shorefish in it. Metal Mania coming out here to build a lumber camp. This is the logical location to put a lumber camp. Even, you know, he knows about both of these forests, but this lumber camp right here is closer to the straggler trees. So he'll improve his straggler tree efficiency just a little bit. I guess he doesn't exactly know where his opponent is yet, but he'll find out soon enough. He's just pushing in a deer. Byzantines versus Japanese. What do I think about that civilization matchup? I think that's a really favorable civ matchup for the Byzantines if they can get it to late game. Japanese actually have economic bonuses, although their fishing ship bonus does not come into effect on this map. Their lumber camps, mills, and mining camps are all half cost, which allows them to slightly pull off a little bit better of a build order, a little bit cleaner, faster build order than the Byzantines. The Byzantines have defensive bonuses. For example, their buildings have more health. They get town watch and town patrol for free, so they're more likely to see your attack coming. So they have a large number of bonuses that can help them survive, but they don't have any economic bonus that allows them to do something to you early game. Their bonuses are defensive in nature. Late game, Byzantines have a powerhouse of a unique unit to use against the Japanese. If the Byzantines ever got to Cataphract plus Skirmisher, the Japanese would not have a lot of options. I mean, even the Samurais, which do bonus damage against Cataphract, because Cataphract are unique units, they're created from the castle. Even Samurai struggle against Cataphract because Cataphract do massive bonus damage against infantry, which Samurai count as, but more importantly, they're faster, they're bigger, they're more mobile, and they have trample damage. So Cataphracts just eat up even Samurai. Although Samurai will do a lot of damage to Cataphracts too if the Cataphracts are outnumbered. Hey, Cookie Pirate, welcome. Welcome, you are just in time. We are casting Metal Mania versus the Mighty Space Fruit, aka Biscuits. And Biscuits, look at this, he's really going in on the fish. It makes sense that he's built 2 mills, Remember, Japanese, right? These 2 mills cost as much as Metal Mania's 1 mill. And Biscuits is able to cover more fish that way. So he'll have a little bit more in terms of resources. He'll be able to do a little bit more. He's saving his sheep underneath his town center. He's going to eat them later. So I wonder what the players are going to do. Looks like Metal Mania's got a lot on wood. Okay, he's building a barracks. I think Metal Mania is going to open archers. Probably 2 range archers. Although he has not gone to gold yet, which is kind of suspicious. So he might actually go into skirmishers. That could be pretty powerful, I think. Let me click on these flags so that we can see both of their advance progress. And I'll click over here too. Yeah, that's what I want. So they both have 18 villagers basically going up on 19 and 21 population, respectively. Somebody... I don't really understand this. Somebody's got 3 military. Oh, okay, alright, that explains it. So, Biscuits is preparing a Japanese man-at-arms rush, which is pretty devastating. He's making 1 more militia. He's got 3 on gold here, so he's got enough miners to upgrade those militiamen to man-at-arms when the time comes. He's now in the age for the upgrade. And he's moving out across the map with his 3 militia, which are probably soon to be man-at-arms, I would guess. So he's feudal age. He's going to chase Metal Mania away. Alright, he's going to head back for a little bit. He's going to go and look for those fishermen. Remember, Biscuits knows that Metal Mania has a base just like his, right? Or very similar. He's got ponds too. So Metal Mania is going to fight this with his villagers. And the reason he can do that is because they are not man-at-arms yet. But as soon as these become man-at-arms, then you can't fight it. Japanese man-at-arms attack faster, remember. I believe it's about 20% faster. So he has to get out of here. Yeah, he knows. He's getting away. And sure enough, we see the 2 ranges from Metal Mania. Now it says... Wait a second. Is Metal Mania not on gold? Oh, that's a disaster. Metal Mania, what are you doing? You got a gold back here. Did he not find it? He found 1 tile of it. So he should know about this gold. I don't think this is a visual bug. I mean, he's making trash units, but he could really use a couple of archers to drive off these man-at-arms. These man-at-arms are coming around the long way. They're avoiding the town center. And he's just trying to get enough skirmishers out, I think, to deal enough damage to the man-at-arms to keep them away. But I'm very surprised that Metal Mania is not taking gold yet. I mean, his gold does suck. It's pretty far away and out in the open. Both of these golds are. And then the other one is very forward. But he should still be able to take this. Hey, the Otter one, welcome. Wait a second, Otter, isn't it like 2 a.m. for you right now? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be sleeping, or maybe you are a nocturnal otter? Alright, so Biscuits, he's making the Japanese man-at-arms, but he actually hasn't gotten much damage out of them. He did force Metal Mania off of the fish for a little bit, and that helped him. But Metal Mania seems to have taken some time out of all of this rampaging around by these man-at-arms, and he's built up this handful of skirmishers. He's now got 9 skirmishers, and that could actually be a problem for these man-at-arms if they are properly microed. Especially because the man-at-arms don't appear to have any... Yeah, they don't have any armor upgrades. That's as many hours as cryptos you want to force on me. Hey, I'm not forcing anything on you, Otter. Otter's going to be the guy that just is like, I don't care about this. I'm just going to decide where we go every season among all of the map packs, and that's fine. That's fine. If that's the way that Otter wants to be, just tell us where to go. That's totally fine. So, Biscuit's still wandering around with the man-at-arms. The good news is that, for him, is that Metal Mania is not on gold. And if you're not on gold, you can't go up to the Castle Age. Let's see what Biscuit's progress to the Castle Age is. He's not really that close, actually. Wait a second. Biscuits is making scouts. I guess it makes sense, right? When you have 12 on berries, what else does one do? Now the skirmishers are attacking the villagers, actually. Maybe it gets a little bit of damage out of them, but that makes sense that he's going into scouts. He sees a lot of skirmishers and he's going to make scouts. So now Metal Mania can mix in some spearmen. Otter, I've already told you it's happening, man. I'm sorry. Gotta do it. So be sure to take advantage of the league before we change over to it. Although there's plenty of opportunity to be involved in the discussion about it to make sure that it's done right. I just released a basic idea today about it to make sure that it's done properly and not in like a scammy or scummy way. Because maybe the reputation is somewhat deserved. Alright, so Biscuit's abandoning this wood line. This is a lot of skirmishers. This is kind of turned into a Byzantine trash rush. Oh, an overchop here. The skirmishers slipped through the overchop, and now they're wandering around the back of... or Metal Mania slips through the overchop. He's wandering through the back of Biscuit's base. He's got to keep moving. Now, if Metal Mania can camp this gold, he can actually camp the base of this tower. That's what I would do. I would just take all these skirmishers and just get all around the base of the tower. And Biscuit's actually building another tower. Metal Mania coming here to see if he can get a villager pick-off. He has fletching, and he does. He gets a villager pick-off with this massive skirmisher army. I'm not too big of a fan of this watchtower here, and I'll tell you why. Again, like this watchtower, if Metal Mania really wants to, he can just stand at the base of the watchtower and kill villagers and not get hit by the watchtower. I think that towers should be within each other's range. Like, there should be a logical chain of towers. Now, I understand the constraint with that. I understand that the constraint with the two towers is that you don't have as much flexibility to cover your resources, right? Imagine having to build a tower here first and then another tower here first. Alright, Metal Mania coming home. He's given up. He's satisfied with the damage done. Maybe he's looking at the score, and he's like, yeah, you know, the score's kind of close. I killed a villager. Should be okay. And if we look at the villager count here, we can see that Metal Mania is indeed one villager ahead, so they've both been keeping their town centers working. Oh, alright. Well, there were some scouts here, and we missed that. Oh, well. I don't think they did much. We see a palisade wall here, so it looks like Metal Mania at one point walled the scouts out. But now that he's sent his army home and he's got these spearmen guarding the gold miners, he's got 12 on gold, which is a lot, actually. Otter likes the skirm play. I like it too. I wish that he had been more aggressive. I really think on this map, if you trash rush your opponent and you camp their gold with skirmishers, they're screwed. But Metal Mania taking the conservative approach, playing safely, bringing his army home so as to not take too much damage. I can understand, right? It's a tournament. People don't want to take very big risks. Another watchtower coming down for Biscuits. Now, the good news for Biscuits is that as the Japanese, he can upgrade his watchtowers and just towers in general. Oh, he bails on that tower. Oh, Otter hates it. Well, those words are somewhat prophetic in this case because Metal Mania was able to deny a tower with this skirmisher army, and now he's picking on Biscuits' other villagers, but these skirmishers can't seem to hit anything, which is unfortunate for Metal Mania. I don't know why he's afraid of this. I mean, look at how much HP is here. Each skirmisher with 30 HP, 22 skirmishers, so we're talking about, what, over 600 HP. And this tower is dealing 5 damage per hit. Less than that, because these skirmishers have 3 hit points, or 3 pierce armor. So this tower does 2 damage, and you figure these skirmishers collectively have over 600 HP. So that means that this tower would have to get 300 hits to kill all of these skirmishers. Alright, now let's think about this a little bit more. 300 hits. How quickly does the tower fire? Does the tower maybe fire twice per second? So even if these skirmishers were standing there tanking the damage, they would be standing around for over 2 minutes before this tower could kill all of them. It's just ridiculous. But Biscuits with a counterattack here. Oh, he's fleeing from the spearmen. Metal Mania pulling these villagers off of the wood line. This has actually been a really entertaining game so far. I'm glad that I chose to cast this. It was either this or it was Mike Goodeye versus Plotter Ghost. And but I hadn't seen a Metal Mania set in a while, and a Biscuit set, so I wanted to cast this one. Byzantines are supposed to make monks. It's true, and maybe we'll see Metal Mania do that when he hits the Castle Age. Biscuit's diving in here. He wants to get some damage in. He doesn't care about the spearmen anymore. And does he get a villager pick-off? Nope, I don't think he does. He might have gotten one in there, but I didn't see anything. But the important thing is that Metal Mania is off of wood. So Metal Mania needs to get back on wood pretty quickly, otherwise the game is going to be over for him. Although Metal Mania is nearly Castle Age, and he could actually make a lot of camels. And maybe that's his plan, because he's got 2 stables here. So he could be planning to go into camels. Biscuit's taking an opportunity to build a forward tower on Metal Mania's woodline. This is super annoying. Now, of course, Metal Mania can see this because he's Byzantines. And I like how he's repairing the barracks, just so that Biscuits can't get in. And no, Metal Mania, no, not the knights, no. Oh, Metal Mania. He's getting knights and he's getting armor and he's making pikemen. No, Metal Mania. You need to get the camel armor upgrade, the cavalry armor upgrade, and you need to make camels. Like 6 camels, Byzantine camels, would totally wipe this out. Alright, he's microing the skirmishers back, and he's trying to micro down his opponent's skirmishers. Nobody cast your set against Metal Mania. Otter versus Metal Mania. Yeah, unfortunately, Hyder and I are somewhat limited in the casts that we can do. I could probably at this point spend more time casting, as these skirmishers are getting whittled down. But my time is better spent working on other projects for the league. I mean, maybe people will watch my channel now that I've figured out how to make the broadcast a little bit higher quality. But even still, it's probably among the least important of the priorities to do the casting. There just isn't a big AoE2 community on YouTube, I don't think. And if they are, they're like casual people that watch the same 4 AoE2 content creators. So I'm content to let the people that have a presence on Twitch cast, and I'll promote them and help them and empower them. Well, no, not just that. We're also talking about moving to an HTML system instead of a bunch of PDFs, so that it's a lot easier to navigate through the different information and like read all the different articles that we have, because we got a lot of information out there, but people are like asking me all the time, how does this work? How does this work? And I'm like, well, we have this written down as a PDF somewhere. And they're like, oh, okay, alright. Yeah, that's alright, Otter. Knights are better versus scouts than camels? What? No. Really? I don't believe that. Especially not Byzantine camels being so cheap. Maybe the logic was that he didn't have time to build a big camel mass, and he just needed to get powerful units out fast, so that's why he chose to go knights. But I don't really see the appeal for Byzantine knights beyond this point. He should stop making knights now. He should make camels. But what do I know? I'm just some pleb 1300 Byzantines enthusiast. So anyway, yeah, we're talking about an HTML system. We got some other programming projects too to set up. I've got other map objectives that I'll be working on. So there's definitely a lot to do. And I don't want to make it sound easy, but casting is something that a lot of different people can do, but not everybody can write computer programs for making random map scripts. That's a little bit more niche. Alright, well, Metal Mania is out here with a big knight raid. He's got knights back here. He's going to come around and hit Biscuits' gold. Biscuits actually has not expanded. He hasn't built another town center from what I can tell. He's made some Japanese spearmen. Biscuits is halfway up to the castle age. He's just got to survive. If Metal Mania hit this wood line right here with like a focused attack, it would be pretty devastating for Biscuits. I mean, Biscuits does have a decent number of spearmen out. But they are going to fight off the knights because they're Japanese spearmen. And like, look at this. Biscuits is totally out of wood. Let's see what Biscuits does. He's got 24 wood. So basically he just rushed down this market so that he could buy wood. And wait a second. Maybe he rushed down the market so that he could buy stone. What is this? No, he's buying wood. Okay, he's going to build a town center right here. That's that's a pretty desperate move here. But I think it's going to pay off. I mean, he spent so much wood on these spearmen, but he had to. Because Metal Mania was up to the castle age first and was pummeling him with knights. Whoa, Otter. You don't have to agree with everything we do to play in the league. For instance, I don't, I'm friends with a lot of people that do things that I'm like, I don't know if I'm into this whole Twitch scam thing with the subscribers and giving Jeff Bezos half of it just so that you can post cute little faces or whatever. Like I think we've all got our various moral objections to different things that people do. But I'm still happy to promote my friends because we share most of our values, right? Now, if somebody's like completely different from how you do things, then it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? If somebody is just like, oh yeah, we're going to have a toxic stream and we're going to scam people and we're just going to play really dumb shooter games or something, I'm probably not going to spend very much time promoting them, if any at all, because they share none of my values. But if they share most of my values, then I'll still promote them. Just red lines of all the things, Otter, to have a red line about. Alright, so Biscuits has built a forward siege workshop, and he's making some rams. So Biscuits is turning this into a pike and ram push. Metal Mania has decided to make some scorpions here, which is kind of an interesting choice. The scorpions will be very good against the pikemen, but they don't have much value against the battering ram here. So this battering ram can garrison some pikemen inside of it, and then it can rush up to the base of this ram. And Metal Mania is sending the villagers to shank the ram because he doesn't want the ram hitting his scorpions. And Metal Mania needs to be careful. I don't think either player can really afford to build any more town centers than the two that they have. Maybe a second town center to help them secure some wood. And apart from that, like, Biscuits has already rammed down one of Metal Mania's archery ranges. And now he's working on the other one. Alright, so the knights are pulling back. They're going to stand here. I don't know if he's going to come around and just do the raid with the knights. I mean, he's got battering rams, which is never fun. I really don't think he should let these buildings go down, though. I think he should try to save the buildings, send the knights, kill the rams, and just have these scorpions give the knights some backup. Oh, look at this. Biscuits has made a knight or converted one. I'm not sure. No monks yet. Cookie Pirate fantasizing about cookies. They are pretty delicious. I had a cookie for dessert tonight. It was a chocolate chip cookie, actually. It was pretty good. Yeah, this Metal Mania should not let this stable go down. He should send these... I think he's very scared. He's very afraid. And he should actually make a couple of monks, though. Maybe not necessarily for conversions, but just to heal the knights. That would be pretty sad. But the alternative is to just take people's money through PayPal, right? And that seems very grift-like to me. I don't know if I can stomach that. Because I can't continue to sponsor the league myself. It's not really so much about the money. It's that I have to set up a system that is self-sufficient. Right now, like if I went to a job interview and I told them that I was working on Age of Empires stuff, they'd be like, oh really, what have you accomplished? And the most I would be able to say is I've got a custom map league where I pay people to do exactly what I want them to do. And they'd be like, well, that's not really an accomplishment because you can always pay people to do exactly what you want them to do. But if I could say something like, oh yeah, you know, I started something that people believe in, they believe in it so strongly that they donate to it, we're able to raise enough money to let other people play with a little bit of a prize pool, you know, that's something that's more self-sustaining, a little bit more respectable. It's not about the money. It's about building something that can last forever, that I don't have to financially back in order to survive. Because that's really, if you have to financially back it to survive it, for it to survive, then it's not as cool of an accomplishment as if it sustains itself. And with the castle drop, Metal Mania finally calling the GG. He's crumbling under the weight of all of these Japanese pikemen. There were so many pikemen out, I don't think he had much of an answer to that. I mean, maybe he could have gone more heavily into archers, but he was never really on gold very much before. I think that a good ball of crossbowmen could have really helped out. But yeah, I don't really like, you know, as somebody who is a Byzantines enjoyer, I don't necessarily know that I'm a big fan of crossbowmen as the Byzantines, because their counter units are so good. But given what Mighty Space Fruit, aka Biscuits, was making, it makes a lot of sense here. Yeah, it was impressive. You know, Biscuits really had to play this aggressively to prevent the Byzantines from doing Cataphract and Skirmisher, and he succeeded. He really took advantage of those eco bonuses and the macro, and he streamed out across the map with all these pikemen and rams, and he hit Metal Mania really hard before Metal Mania could take advantage of the Byzantine might. Alright, so now we're going to go on to the statistics. Let's take a look at those. You know, actually relatively close KD, but the Mighty Space Fruit, aka Biscuits, raising more buildings, and only losing 2. Similar size, largest armies, but I think that this one was more so in the Feudal Age and this was in the Castle Age. Economy, Mighty Space Fruit had a much bigger economy. Metal Mania had better advancement times. He explored more of the map. Mighty Space Fruit with more research. That's true. If you can't speak your mind at 2 a.m., what can you do? Sometimes the most honest conversations happen at 2 a.m. Because people are just so tired. Their filter just breaks down. They're just like, I am too tired to filter this. I'm just going to say what I think. At least that's my experience with 2 a.m. Fireside chats. Okay, so the second game between Biscuits and Metal Mania, Biscuits, aka the Mighty Space Fruit, is on Gugon. So the previous map, The Thaw, was made by Jasuki, and this map was made by the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Mighty Space Fruit, aka Biscuits. So Biscuits made this map. Blue right here, this blue player, he created this map, so he knows all about it. There's a random chance for some different separations between the players. There's a random chance about what kinds of stuff you have here. So there's actually more variety than it might seem on this map. And we actually really like this one. It's produced some pretty good games for the league. It's like Arena, but I think it introduces more of a possibility for tower rushes because these forests are so collected. You basically start with these 2 big forests, and they can either be forward or backward. They're always going to be in some kind of mirrored configuration. And these ones are in the back, so they're going to be a little bit harder to tower rush. And actually, these players look somewhat far apart, so I think that these players will probably just go fast castle. I don't think we'll see any feudal aggression here. Let's talk about their civilizations real quick. Mighty Space Fruit, aka Biscuits, is playing as the Armenians, and Metal Mania is playing as the Britons. I really like the choice of Britons here. We don't see them very much in Alchemy League, but I think they're a really solid civilization. I think that Britons are a good civilization. They have a lot of ranged power. They're difficult to push. They don't have a lot of power units, though, so it sometimes can be hard to make progress with the Britons. But we could probably expect Metal Mania to do some kind of... I would love to see castles and longbowmen everywhere. You know, it's kind of strange. They're both archer civilizations, right? The Britons are known for their long-range archers, and the Armenians are known for their archers that are short-range but penetrate armor more effectively. Cookie Pirate says, reminds me of the Greek one where players can go behind their walls, the ones with the kings. Frurio, maybe. Yeah, it is a bit like Frurio, actually. But this one you can wall to the edge of the map. And on Frurio you cannot. There is a ring of unbuildable rock terrain around the outside. But in a way, you know, this is almost better than Frurio in some respects, because Frurio pretty much just has like the forests in this area, and Biscuits is actually taking the time to set this up to where there's kind of like a random chance of different, like you could have gold, you could have relic, you could have hunt here, and in this case there aren't really any neutral boars. Sometimes there's like a, oh well, here they are. Okay, so there are some neutral boars, but they're kind of far away, so I don't know if we're going to see the players bother with them. Gugong is way more monkey. Yeah, I think it is. Otter and I agree with that. Armenians are church rush civ here. Really? You think the Armenians are going to church rush? Well, I don't know, but that's an interesting prediction. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Alright, so let's see. They're 18 and 19 villagers. Does somebody have loom and somebody doesn't? Okay, Metal Mania, no loom. And Biscuits did get loom. I'm not sure why Biscuits got loom. Maybe he's thinking about luring some of the boars. This gen is less monk rushy. Yeah, they start further apart on this version. So I really appreciated Biscuits taking the time to code these kinds of different random possibilities into it, because there are, and I don't mean any disrespect or anything like that, but I am going to go off on a little bit of a rant about random map scripters sometimes, and I used to be one of these types of random map scripters. I would basically fill up the map with a million different lands, and the player start would be static. The players would always start in the same place, and pretty much everything was the same. I mean, the forest might be random, the locations of the golds and stones and stuff might be somewhat random, you know, but players could always find them and generally get them. And you can produce some really pretty looking maps that way. But the problem is that even though you don't know what it's going to be, once it's figured out, it's the same thing every single time. And it's very important for random map scripts to introduce as much fair randomness as they can. So for instance, you know, we can't have a situation where Metal Mania could have the chance of starting out in the center of the map, or he could end up out here, but Biscuits, let's say, is always in this corner, right? That's not fair. They deserve an equal distance from the center. If Metal Mania starts in the middle, then there's all kinds of safe resources behind him, so that's unacceptable. But to introduce the possibility where these players could start maybe closer together, Well, you know, that's more work. That takes more time to troubleshoot it, make sure there aren't any problems associated with it, make sure that there's nothing blocking over there, make sure that, you know, that to do that, you got to basically code one map for every possible configuration. So it can be a lot harder, and it's a lot more work to set that up. It's not, you know, exactly proportional to the number of different combinations that you have, but this is proper random map scripting right here. And Biscuits worked hard on. I told Biscuits, I said, hey man, you know, you really got to make this as random as possible, and he did. And so even though the map doesn't, it looks like one of those static maps with this geometric pattern, right? It looks like this stuff is all just kind of plopped down here. I can assure you that, you know, these hex or these squares do shift around depending on the seed. You know, you guys have never seen me go through the scenario editor and just hit generate on a bunch of seeds and, you know, have the bases jump around, have the different terrain types change. You just see, you know, a single given map, and maybe I casted another one a couple weeks ago that had a slightly different configuration that we all forgot about. But this map is truly a random map. Is it the most random map there is out there? No, obviously, of course not. But for what it is, it does a very good job of being random. So both players, Feudal Age now. Looks like Metal Mania is going to have the faster Castle Age. It makes sense. I mean, he's Britons. Britons take sheep faster, so Metal Mania probably, instead of having a 6th villager on sheep, he maybe had another villager out somewhere else doing something else. Because they take sheep so fast, they can devote fewer villagers to sheep collection. That means you can do something else with that 6th villager. You figure if they take sheep 20% faster, then for every 5 villagers they have working on sheep, it's like having 1 extra villager on sheep for free. So 5 villagers on sheep for Britons is equivalent to 6 villagers for everybody else. Now, interestingly enough, Metal Mania is massing up some archers here. He's not going to wait to get longbows. He's going to get the archers, and he's going to get the range upgrades. He probably is going to get the crossbowman upgrade too. And these are archers that are built with the motivation of capturing relics. Guys, remember that Alchemy League is standard victory condition. We are a big believer in introducing other ways to win the game. I think that's very important. And I think that the original developers were, and I remember an interview with Sandy Peterson, the lead designer. He was saying the Age of Kings team that he was on put all of this effort into designing all of these cool wonders for the different civilizations, and now nobody builds them. You never see wonders, right? Now, to be fair, even in Alchemy League, we don't see many wonders. They're just so expensive. But wait, what is this? This could be very bad for Biscuits. He needs to pay attention. Alright, he's going out this way. He's going to build an outpost. But at least we could see potentially a relic victory. So Metal Mania just is camping these relics. He just wants these relics. He knows, hey, if I can get these 2 relics, I'm in a good position, right? I've got half of the relics out there. Actually, it's not half, right? It's there's 6 relics on this particular generation. There's 1 on each of these squares, and then there are 2 in the center. So Biscuits, he just wants to, or sorry, Metal Mania, he just wants to get these 2 relics first, and then maybe he thinks he can pick up the 2 relics closest to him. Wait a second, there's even more. There's 8 relics. No, there's 7, okay? 7 relics. Guess there's some bonus stone here. Alright, so Biscuits is going to kind of greedily take these deer. I think he's very lucky that his opponent didn't scout that. Now, Biscuits has made a warrior priest, and this warrior priest is snagging this relic. And Metal Mania coming out here, and he's snagging the relic in the center. I think that Metal Mania could just camp this relic with his scout and actually come up to this relic and see if his opponent is trying to take it. Biscuits opportunistically taking relics, and he's invested less into relic collection than his opponent. Looks like Biscuits just made a couple of scouts he's going to use to snipe monks. Metal Mania, has Metal Mania told these archers to guard this monk? That would be pretty funny if that were the case. Yeah, he's got this entire army guarding one monk. And it doesn't look like Metal Mania has made any other monks. And Biscuits, he's made the one warrior priest that we've seen. Both players may be a little bit too afraid to invest in too many monks. Let's take a look at the villager count. Biscuits with 41 villagers and Metal Mania with 37. So Metal Mania with 3 town center, Britain Boom. So Metal Mania is going to pull ahead in villagers here, assuming that he can keep villager production going. He's got the farms and the houses to do so. That's the hard part for me. Britain town centers are cheaper in terms of wood. They cost less wood, so it's a little bit easier for the Britons to boom. Metal Mania grabbing this relic. Sorry. Oh, wow. No, he's got the 2 warrior priests. And he's making a monk now. Alright, so Biscuits is actually ahead on the relics. He's going to get 4 of the 7 relics. And Metal Mania has gotten the 2 in the center. And let's see if he's gotten any others. He's gotten the 2 in the center. There's still 1 here. He's sending his army here. He's being very careful to protect his monk. I think that this is a little bit excessive force to protect the monk. I think he could be out across the map, you know, taking more map control with these units, but he's being very cautious. He wants to keep the monk protected. His archers are automatically attacking this house. Doesn't need that. Okay, this monk is going to become safe here in just a couple seconds. So now he's going over to where the last relic is. He assumes that it's over here. But Biscuits is actually going to pick it up first. And Biscuits is coming in here with his builder. Alright, he's going to build an outpost and he's going to spy on Metal Mania. So surely Metal Mania will see that it's not there. Oh, but he spots the warrior priest with the relic. And so he might still be able to secure this relic if he can catch the warrior priest. Biscuits trying to micro it, but Metal Mania does kill the warrior priest, and now he's going to go in and get the relic. I don't know if Biscuits will kill this monk after it picks up the relic. They might play a little bit of a tug of war over this relic. Biscuits sending his other warrior priest to retrieve. Nope. He's just going to stand there. So it looks like Biscuits giving up on this relic. Going to let Metal Mania have it. Metal Mania happily booming here. Let's check the villager count as Biscuits is building outposts all around Metal Mania's base. This one's actually in range of the town center, which is kind of funny. Actually, Biscuit's managing to stay ahead of Metal Mania. He's on 3 town centers. One of the town centers is over here on this neutral food. So he's taking good advantage of the neutral food here. And that could be a reason why Biscuits is ahead of Metal Mania in villagers. I don't know what this is. Why Biscuits is coming around the back with a warrior priest. Probably just a misclick. Metal Mania chasing him down. Doesn't want Biscuits building any more spying outposts. So now if you're Biscuits, let's see what Biscuits can see. So he knows all about what Metal Mania is doing back here. Scouted the 2 town centers. Can assume that there's a 3rd one in the center. So he knows his opponent is on a 3 town center boom. Metal Mania has gotten crossbowmen. And he's actually also building outposts of his own. I wonder if Metal Mania will attack this over here. Like, Metal Mania is just totally letting this happen. And he doesn't have to. Like, he could totally be punishing this. He must see the dead boar on the minimap. Yeah, okay, he's coming over here now with the outpost. But his archers should totally be like surrounding this and preventing any villagers from building in here. He doesn't know that there's... Okay, now he knows that there's a town center here, so he's not going to try to build this outpost. He'll probably cancel it, come back here and build something. Or if he doesn't see, he'll just walk right through. Biscuits is going to show him now. Okay, he cancels the outpost. And now he's like, okay, well, I was going to build my castle here. Now I'm going to build my castle here. I like this. I think this is smart. And I think he needs to send his army, though, to protect that castle. Okay, here's the army. And Biscuits is going to build an archery range. He's actually already got an archery range up. He's going to build archery ranges, I should say. Alright, so Biscuit's attacking this outpost with a single villager. And I think this castle is going to go up. I don't see Biscuits denying it. There's no mangonel nearby. A mangonel or two would deny this. Now, if Metal Mania is paying attention, he can totally deny this castle. This is a terrible castle from Biscuits. I'm not really sure what he was thinking. Okay, yeah, he cancels it. The castle makes sense if your opponent doesn't have an army of crossbows, but your opponent does have an army of crossbows, and they're Briton crossbows with extra range. So these crossbows will just shred the castle construction, the builders to pieces. So Biscuits is going to build this castle here and secure this gold instead. He's got a little outpost. Figures, well, Metal Mania is distracted with my other villagers. But Metal Mania should wait for this castle to go up, and they should just loop around the back with his... Actually, what he could do is he could divide his army. He could send half of his crossbowmen up this way and half back this way. Looks like he's sending them all this way, though. And then Biscuits is going to come over here. He's going to take this wood. He's going to try to escape this way. He knows what's over here because he's got outposts. So he can just send the villagers out and around this way. Maybe to get home. Or who knows, maybe he'll just take wood here. But I think that's dangerous, because if his opponent finds it, they're all dead. Alright, Biscuits is Imperial Age. Metal Mania is advancing to the Imperial Age. He is about 18% of the way there. We've got 4 relics versus... Really, Metal Mania got 4 relics, huh? Biscuits got 4. Oh, right, Armenians. Ugh, that Armenian bonus is so silly. So there were 7 relics on the map, but the Armenians get a free relic when they build their first monastery, which basically means that as long as the Armenians build a monastery, they cannot lose a relic victory to a relic victory, unless their first monastery is destroyed and the relic is captured. I like this. Look at this. This is cheeky. So Biscuits is walling this area off. He's like, all right. This wall may not be very strong, but it's still got over 1,000 HP, and it's got wall armor. So I'm just going to build my walls here, and then I'm just going to take resources in this location. Now Metal Mania has walled to this wall, but he hasn't walled all the way back. So let's check the Fog of War to see if he can see it. Yes, he can. He has maybe at least Town Watch, perhaps even Town Patrol. So he can see these villagers working here, and this is where you send like a couple of archers back here and you just harass this. But he's distracted. He's distracted because Biscuits has an army of skirmishers, and there are trebuchets knocking at his door. He's got an army of longbowmen. What's his answer against the skirmishers, though? He can't afford to take this fight, at least not in those numbers. He's Imperial Age himself now. He's going to get Bracer. He needs something for these elite skirmishers. I don't know what that is yet. I mean, he's got some range. Yeah, this is... Long term, this isn't sustainable. He might be able to kill some skirmishers this way, but this is not cost effective. So he's building a stable. Alright, that's a good idea. And he's getting armor. That's also a good idea. Britons get fully upgraded Cavalier, as far as I know. So these archers are just going to try to pick off skirmishers while the castle is under repair. And the castle is not going to last long versus those trebuchets. Somewhat unfortunate that Metal Mania didn't see these skirmishers coming. Like, you're Britons. Your opponent is going to go heavily into skirmisher. These villagers are not able to get away, and he doesn't have the stone to repair the castle, so now he's got to get out of there. Castle goes down, and he has to flee. He could probably come up this way. Maybe come around back. He could be really annoying with the archers. Like, he could swoop back here and pick off villagers. Get some economic damage in. But he's just kind of cornered here for now. His opponent is taking his time destroying this other town center. So what is Metal Mania doing next? Oh, this isn't good. He's only got one villager building one stable. He should be building like 8 stables right now. Oh, okay, here they are. So he's got a couple more stables. He's got 3 stables here. He's getting the Cavalier upgrade, and he's getting the Castle Age armor upgrade. Chain barding armor. Knight here for the Armenians. I wonder if that was a conversion. It looks like it could have been Biscuits building a knight himself. He does have a stable as well. The knights are coming from back here. Yeah, I think he's building knights of his own. And yeah, there it is. So we can see this is a decent Imperial Age production, right? This is what you would expect. So the Cavaliers are going to come back into the base, hopefully. I don't know where they are. He is getting scout rated. Okay, here come the Cavaliers. So he's prioritized the armor upgrades over the attack, which makes a lot of sense. And he's got some archers here. I don't know. Yeah, maybe he's thinking he's just going to snipe some siege weapons with the knights for now. The archers would actually be pretty good in support of the knights. Like if the knights were in here fighting and the archers were dealing damage behind them. But he really needs the final armor upgrade on these Cavaliers before picking a fight. But he's somewhat running out of time. Biscuits has made Cavaliers as well. Biscuits' Cavaliers are identical except they have bloodlines. Well, they both have bloodlines, but they have the first attack upgrade. So it actually would have been really helpful for Metal Mania to be here with these ranged units supporting his own knights. Because as you can see, without the final armor upgrade, these ranged units are just tearing through the knights. Or I should say Cavaliers. Yeah, he's under a lot of pressure. He could rebuild a gate. That could help him. Metal Mania calling the GG. He's just a little bit out-edged here, I think. I don't know if it was the Armenians. Probably a combination of the Armenians' economic bonuses, but also Biscuits being hyper-familiar with the map, given that he created it. Let's take a look at the statistics. So the kill to death actually favors Metal Mania, but it's all skirmishers. Killing 95 units and losing 62. But the Mighty Space Fruit, aka Biscuits, killing 14 and losing 7 buildings. The largest army for the Mighty Space Fruit Biscuits of 62. Whose economy was bigger? Well, definitely that of Biscuits. He had more food, wood, stone, and gold collected. And he also had a faster Imperial Age time, but Metal Mania was up to the Feudal and Castle Ages faster. The Mighty Space Fruit, also exploring more of the map and getting more research. Total castles, 2 for the Mighty Space Fruit, and each captured 4 relics, but Mighty Space Fruit had a little bit more gold from the relics. Metal Mania had a slightly larger boom. I don't think Metal Mania did anything wrong. It's just the Armenians, under Biscuits' stewardship, they were faster. So now we're going to look at Ray versus GDR Marklanders, aka Max Power 973. So let's go back to the home screen real quick. We'll show the maps. Show the maps again. So this match is taking place on a different week. So Shattered Plains is the map of the round, and then of course they take turns discarding until only one map remains, and that map happens to be Shimmerpool. So in terms of their civilization draft, we'll bring that up now. So let's see, the global admin bans are Spanish, Goths, Khmer, Mongols, and Bohemians. And then they globally banned 2 Gurjaras, Georgians, Humans, and Persians. And they did some snipes, and it looks like Ray is left with the Lithuanians, the Malay, and the Poles, and Max Power is left with the Magyars, the Ethiopians, and the Burgundians. So, some interesting civilization choices for sure. Alright, let's load the replay. Zoom back into AoE 2. Okay, so game 1, Shattered Plains by Welcome to Rapture. It's kind of like Fortress, but a little bit more aggressive in the sense that the relics are in the middle of the map. At 2 o'clock, we have Ray playing as the Teal Poles, and at 8 o'clock, we have Mark Landers, aka Max Power, playing as the Yellow Burgundians. So we got some expansion civs here. I don't recall if they're from the same expansion, but they're both cavalry. They're both cavalry-themed civilizations here. Both these guys seem to think that mobility will be important on this map, and I tend to agree with them. I think that you can get out here and you can take map control and you can deny resources and you can do lots of damage. The wood lines are all, rangeable by ranged units, so we could see somebody go into cavalry archers, for example, and try to deny the wood this way, although these are not really traditionally cavalry archer civilizations. Max Power actually going outside of his base. He is a little bit unlucky with the wood lines here. I think Ray's wood line is a little bit better. But then again, this is kind of also very long and entirely rangeable. And if Max Power, walled this off right, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess they're both equally bad. So Max Power just needs to kind of hope that Ray doesn't figure out how to kill this over here. Now Max Power is going to use that whole goat trick. Oh, I guess he opens the gate and the boar wandered out, and so now he's got to close it again. He's trying to get this deer inside. These deer are inside for Ray. Ray's got the 4 on the wood, so I don't think we're going to see anything too crazy from Ray this game. Probably just going to be just a standard fast castle. Although he's... What is this? Okay, so it's a full work. I haven't seen a full work under construction in a long time. Maybe ever. So full works are a unique building that the Poles can build. They provide housing space, and they also act as a mill, and they accelerate the rate of farming around them. So Poles have a very strong eco if they can ever get to that point. Let's see. Yeah, both of them are, they're kind of playing as cavalry civilizations, but they're like fast cavalry civilizations. They're like the sort of cavalry civilizations that either, in the case of the Burgundians, they get cavalry upgrades sooner, and they get good eco sooner. So they're kind of able, they've got a power spike that allows them to be obnoxious with cavalry, but not because their cavalry is super powerful relative to other civilizations, but because it's less powerful but available earlier, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of what the Burgundians are about, and they can sort of use that to get a good position in the game that allows them to compete with powerhouse civilizations that ordinarily would have way better cavalry, but because they've been competing at somewhat of a disadvantage until that point, they never really get to the efficiency of the fights. They never really get to the numbers that they need. So that's kind of the story about the Burgundians, I feel. Interestingly enough, Ray is going over here to stone. Let's take a look at the Pole bonuses here, and I will explain. So when villagers are mining stone, they also generate gold. I'm not exactly sure what the rate is for the gold generation anymore. Maybe I knew at one point, but Ray is just coming over here and he's just put a villager on stone early. And I don't know if this means that Ray is going to do a tower rush? Probably not. I think he's going to go for a castle. But this early stone miner here, this appears to be just some way of generating a small amount of gold while Ray is working on other priorities to get up to the feudal age. And this is going to give him his 200 gold that he needs to advance to the castle age. So this will allow Ray to get 200 gold to advance to the castle age, but not actually have to build the mining camp here. He just builds it on the stone, he collects the stone, and the villager is working on the stone for a little bit longer, but she maybe generates enough stone to get up to build a castle once he reaches the castle age. We'll see. So 23, 24 villagers. We're kind of getting close to the territory to click up. Ray's already clicked up to the next age. I don't know what the gold situation for Ray is like. He might need to send another villager over here to help out with this stone collection to generate some gold faster. You can see that Ray is prioritizing the construction of farms around the Fulwark instead of the town center. Even though the town center is more protected, the Fulwark gives the farming bonus. So he'll get more food this way as long as he can keep it safe. So max power is actually going to be up to the feudal age first. With the Burgundians, their economic bonuses are available one age earlier. So he could be getting like heavy plow and all these castle age eco upgrades right now. It'd be kind of greedy, but potentially he could do it. Okay, so Ray has reached the feudal age, and he's throwing down some buildings that he needs. I think he's a little behind on gold. He might sell some stone or something. That's probably what he'll do to click up to the next stage. Building a second lumber camp. Ray likes fast games. Yeah, he sold some stone, and he's on his way up to the castle age after that villager is created. So max power is going to go into a stable. I think maybe he's going to make some scouts. He's going to take some map control. He's going to take his time a little bit in the feudal age, maybe. Switch over to his point of view. He's almost at the resources he needs to click up. He's just going to do loom, apparently. Maybe he was housed, or maybe it's just a good time to get it. I'm not exactly sure. Alright, and castle age incoming for max power, aka Mark Landers. So he's making some scouts. Any sign of... Let's see if Ray's got any indication of units for map control. Doesn't look like it. Wait, what is this? Is this another Fulwark? It is. Alright, so Ray's just going to build another Fulwark back here. I don't really understand that too much. It seems like he's got enough space around his first Fulwark. Okay, these villagers are unloomed. Does he see this scout? Is that why he's ducking away? Alright, so max power actually missing these villagers. I mean, he could have seen it potentially very briefly, but that is unfortunate. And these villagers are unloomed too. And they are building a town center. Okay, so Ray builds this Fulwark so that he can add some more farms, so that he can sustain villager production from 2 town centers. Max power is about 90% of the way up to the castle age. A little less. At the time that I started that sentence, it was anyway. And he's taken some wood. He's built the ring of farms. Let's take a look at villager counts. They've got the same villager counts, basically. I don't know if Ray can pull ahead, because he's just about done building his first town center. And max power probably could have denied that town center. I mean, these villagers were unloomed. They have loom now. And he has 3 scouts on the field. And Ray... Let's take a look at Ray's military, actually. See what Ray is doing with respect to military. Not really anything. I guess he's found a couple of relics up here. But he hasn't made anything. Yeah, he's got no production buildings. He's built another town center here. And I think Ray just wants to mega boom into Polish Flood. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, second town centers for Mark Landers, aka Max Power. Ray's villager lead is growing. He's got 5 villagers now. And so Max Power definitely investing more into securing the relics early on, from my observation. And whether or not that pays off is a big it depends. I know that's the classic word that everybody hates. Like, oh, I don't want to hear it depends. I want you to tell me what the right or wrong thing to do is. But I think the big factor here is how long do those relics have to accumulate gold? If this match lasted 6 hours, 5 or 6 relics could generate tens of thousands of gold in that time. And with tens of thousands of gold, you can make all kinds of nasty units, like bombard cannons, paladins, all sorts of monks, all sorts of things, right? But if the game is not going to last for very long, then you might spend all of this time and effort getting all these relics. You got to build the monastery. You got to make yourself a couple of monks. You make a couple of units to help secure those monks, because you don't want your opponent coming in and messing with it and stopping it. And Max Power is like, no, you cannot build this outpost here. That is unacceptable. So Ray's going to build it here instead. That's really funny. Max Power haggling Ray over 4 tiles of outpost exploration space. And the funniest part is Ray's still like, okay, I'm just going to build this here. Ray is like, okay, this outpost will add value if it's 3 tiles away from my town center. Just kind of funny Ray things. I guess he does have a lot of good upgrades on the outpost for vision, and outposts inherently give good vision. But Ray has not forgotten about the relics entirely, and he is building a monastery now. He's going to try to sneak this relic in. I don't know if Max Power knows that Ray is up to that, and it seems like he does kind of know, because he's like, no, you cannot even have the one relic that's closest to you. I'm going to get them all. He is very competitive, Max Power is. I've played him before. He's been with the league for a while. He played in Season 2, I think, and then he didn't play for a while, but he's back. And he likes us, and we like him. So Ray has added another full work down here, and another full work back here, and he's really taking advantage of the full work economy here. Yeah, he's adding another full work. So Ray really is mega booming here. He's up to 60 villagers, and Max Power only has 47. Now keep in mind that we can't really see what economic upgrades Max Power has. So Max Power's villagers are probably working a bit more efficiently, which is why the score is closer. Combined with the fact that Max Power has been getting relics and Ray has not been getting relics. Yeah, Max Power has 2 relics, and he snagged this relic, which was closest to Ray that Ray wanted. And Ray's monk is weak, so I don't know if Ray is going to go and get another relic from somewhere. I don't know that he explored it. He's building outposts to try to find the other relics. I don't know if he's still got scouts. But being that Alchemy League is... Yeah, there's a relic right here that he hasn't found yet. Given that Alchemy League is a standard victory condition, you definitely don't want to let your opponent have all of the relics. You definitely want to try to get at least one. Otherwise, a countdown will begin. And people panic with the countdowns. It's, it might seem like a lot, 200 years or something, but it can go by pretty quick. And you might be tempted to take a bad fight with only 200 years left on the clock. You might be tempted to fight before you're ready. Ray is going up to the Imperial Age. I love this. What's he doing? He's building archery ranges. Okay. Well, Poles do get... That'll be quite a surprise, actually, because Poles get all of the archer upgrades, except for the final armor, I believe. So their archers are actually surprisingly good. And one of the fun things about Poles, too, is that you can, be taking stone, and that can fuel your archer army for a while, right? Because you get gold from it. So you got enough villagers on stone, you can... it's like producing from... It's like feeding 1, maybe even 2 ranges. And then And then you can, probably more like one, but even still, like one continuously operating range is a lot of free archers, because the thing about archers is they're not supposed to die. And he's building them back, too. So I don't think that Max Power actually knows about those ranges. No, he does not. So Max Power is probably going to assume that Ray is going scouts or cavalry of some kind, but Ray is actually teching into ballistics. He just got the Bodkin upgrade. He just converted Max Powers as scout cavalry here. And Max Power on his way up to the Imperial Age himself, but he hasn't gotten this final relic yet. Does he know about it? No, he does not. Oh, wow. That is critically important for Ray. So the fact that Max Power did not scout that relic is giving Ray a huge advantage. Not a huge advantage, but a massive disadvantage is averted. If Max Power had this relic, he could start the relic countdown, and Ray would be in a very scary position. So, Max Power, seeing that Ray is Imperial Age, expecting Ray to be going cavalry, so he's made a bunch of pikemen. But Ray is actually making crossbowmen. I don't know if Ray is going to get chemistry now, or if he's going to... Probably what he'll do is castle drop. Yep, here's the castle right here. So, Ray has quick stonewalled these villagers in, and he's building a castle on top of these barracks. He's going to shut the barracks down. And at this point, Ray's crossbow play has been revealed. So Max Power is like, oh, alright, crossbows, I can deal with that too. So he makes a knight, and he's starting to get the cavalry armor upgrades in response. So is he gonna have time for it? I don't know. I know that he can get the Cavalier upgrade sooner. He can get that in Castle Age, and that's what he's doing now. He's just reached the Imperial Age. And he's going to get Chemistry. And he doesn't have a lot of time to prepare, but he's getting the second armor upgrade for these knights now. And Ray is coming. So Ray needs to, park some archers here. He needs to park some archers here. He needs to find the gold and park some archers there. He could do a lot of damage with these archers. Can he win the game with these archers alone? I don't think so. Although, yeah, because Max Power, he doesn't have the armor upgrade yet that he needs, but he will have it soon. And I think that this castle is going to go up. Ray has not found this. Ray is probably building trebuchets now, I would guess. No. Ray, what are you doing? Make some trebuchets, man. Oh, actually, you know what? In Ray's defense, yeah, he doesn't know about this castle. So he probably thinks, I can just go around and, skirt my opponent's economy on the outside and kill a bunch of villagers and get a ton of value. But he really needs to get rid of this castle here, but he doesn't know it exists yet. So he's probably going to figure it out when he builds this outpost. Ray is teching into pikemen. Alright, so these cavaliers, I guess they're going to come and pick on this monk. Ray's going to quick wall these villagers in to build this castle. And now he's going to find out with this trebuchet that, oh, yeah, look, there's an enemy trebuchet here. I better shut this down. So Ray's gotten the Arbalister, and Max Power should be focusing on that final armor upgrade. Okay, he has gotten it. So these Cavaliers should be able to fight these Arbalisters. Ray's probably going to focus this. Oh, nope. Okay, yeah, he needs to kill the cannon. He needs to kill the cannon, retreat underneath the castle. If he could actually retreat underneath the fire of 2 castles, that would help him the most. Cavaliers are going to snipe the siege weapons. Ray garrisoning the Arbalisters in this castle. It actually deals some pretty massive damage to Max Power's army. Look at all these arrows coming out. And Max Power losing a lot of his army there. This has been a pretty exciting game so far. So Ray's going to come forward, and now he's going to damage the trebuchet with his archers. He's going to try to take it down. I think Max Power panicked a little bit there. He's got the upgrades. I don't know why he had to push this castle at that time. I guess he wanted to keep his own castle alive and make his own cannons. Ray can't. Can't fight under the castle. He's got to pull back. Well, I'm really pleased that Ray didn't attempt a castle drop. Or not castle drop. A town center drop on this map. He loves his town center drops. But Ray recognizing town center drop is not the play on this map. And he gives us something a little bit more traditional. But still out of the box, right? Who expects the Poles to open archers? Not many people, right? Now, I don't think that the Poles get halberdier. I could be wrong. We can check. See if the Poles get halberdier, if it's part of their technology tree. Which one is that? Oh, come on. Here we go. So do the Poles get halberd? No, they don't. They just get the pikes. So that explains why he has not upgraded to halberdier yet. Just continuing to mass the pikemen. Now, this is going to tempt Max Power into making Skirmisher. Skirmisher counters everything that Ray is doing. But if he does make Skirmishers, then Ray will just go into the Winged Hussar. And I think Ray does want to go into the Winged Hussar eventually. Like, Max Power is kind of expanded out across the map. I guess it could be worse. He's over here taking resources. And Ray should recognize that he can... You know, his opponent's probably out of gold, or getting close to running out of gold. So if he can deny other resources... the thing I like about the Poles here is they kind of make up resources, right? Like, they make new gold from stone mines. So, to Ray, it's as though there are, like, way more gold mines on the map. It's the way of looking at it. Ray doing this with 17 villagers on wood, which is pretty impressive. Staggered formation for the Arbalisters coming and chasing off the bombard cannons. Okay, Paladin incoming for Max Power. Paladin is definitely a powerful unit. Are his Paladins as powerful as other civilizations' Paladins? No, but they're still Paladins. They'll help him out. Maybe he could fight the pikemen a little bit more effectively. Although I don't know where Ray's pikemen ended up. I think Ray wanted to get a good attack on these bombard cannons. He's pulling his archers back and probably going to garrison them back in the castle. Ray building another castle here. Does Ray know that Max Power is on this gold? Yes, he does. So he builds a castle there to deny this gold from Max Power. This is a very good castle. Max Power is going to be in a lot of trouble, actually, pretty soon, because I think he's out of gold. Without this gold, where does Max Power take gold? You know, this one's in range of Ray's castle. This one's in range of Ray's castle. And I think he's out of gold at this point. Now, I think Max Power is not suffering for gold quite yet. And he's got 650 gold, so he's starting to run out. And he has to be careful how he manages his gold going forward. He's got some hand cannoneers here. He's got some paladins. Some people say that paladin is a waste of gold in 1v1. I'll let you be the judge here, because for Burgundians it does cost half as much. So I can definitely see the rationale for getting it. So Max Power has built these hand cannons to help him kill the pikemen. And it looks like he's trying to get a good fight in here. Ray microing the archers to be closer to the hand cannons, and Max Power calling the GG. He's just out of gold. He's out of gold and he can't replenish his gold supply. He did have more relics than Ray did, so he had 4 relics. And how many relics did Ray capture? Let's check and see. Well, there was 1 relic here that Ray didn't capture. Ray captured 1 relic, and it was probably this one over here. Yeah. So let's go and check out the statistics. Well played from Ray. Ray with 95 kills and 66 units lost. 7 buildings razed, 1 building lost, 4 conversions. The largest army of 64. So Mark Landers, aka Max Power, having a larger food and wood economy. Ray having a larger stone and gold economy. Ray having better Castle Age and Imperial Age times. Max Power having a better Feudal Age time. I think he went fast Feudal to get the eco upgrades. But Ray did a better job of securing the resources of the map, which I think is the reason why he won. 4 castles for Ray. 2 for Max Power. Max Power getting 4 relics, Ray getting 1. Ray booming up to 137 villagers. He did start the boom very early. Now let's return to the replays and begin on the second game. Shimmerpool. Shimmerpool was made by yours truly, me, TechChariot. It is the spiritual successor to an old map called Karga that I made. And I expanded it. I kind of cleaned it up a little bit. I gave it some more biomes and renamed it Shimmerpool. Elevated the land over the oasis. And GDER Mark Landers, aka Max Power, is playing as the Yellow Magyar. And Ray is playing as the Teal Lithuanians. And it looks like we've got kind of a summer pine biome here. So we got maybe a couple small forests back here with some bushes, but in general, it's all about these pine trees. Pine trees and bushes surrounding a central elliptical pool. Looks like we've gotten a narrower version of the pool in generation. So not as many fish this time, but probably still worth, in fact, most definitely still worth docking. There are ridges in the corners with some stone, and there's 1 relic in each ridge, and then there's a relic in the center. So Lithuanian's a popular pick for this map. I would assume that Ray picked them for the Lithuanian Instadoc. He's taken his boar already. Got started on this cow. And let's take a look at Ray's. Yeah, I don't know. I assumed that he would be doing the Lithuanian Instadoc, but there could be some other reason. And Max Power, so it's actually kind of funny, Magyar on this map, because you've got these wolves. In this case, they're bears. But in order to make sure that this map is not extra campy, to make sure that you don't just kind of wall off your side and then just do whatever you want for a while, in order to make sure that the map has feudal action, put some bears or wolves or other aggressive predator style animals here so that you can't wall this off. I mean, you could kind of try to wall over here, but this is a big wall. But if you try to get to the edge of the map and wall between these two, taking advantage of these thick forests here, these bears will eat your face. But if you're Magyars, you can walk right through here. Like, your villager will shank down these bears because they are predator class animals. So that's the only justification I can think of for Magyars on this map. People like to slip past the bears as Magyars and basically either wall this off or like do a sneak on their opponent, because their opponent doesn't think about the fact that the Magyars have that bonus, and that the Magyars could just come over here with villagers and build like buildings on the side and hit them from a weird angle. So we'll see what they do. We can see that Ray has docked pretty early, so maybe he went for a version of the Lithuanian Instadoc that I don't know about, or maybe it's a special version that Ray created for this map. He is a very skilled player. He was 1900 at one point, but he hasn't played in a while. I think he just came back to play in this league and then maybe a couple of other competitions in a more casual format. So I think we've got him pretty well figured out for our purposes here. Max Power 973, just pushing in some deer, don't mind him. Somebody housed. Oh, Ray is housed. He's got to rush up a house somewhere. Okay, he just did. Taking the fish. Sometimes there are versions. There's actually a couple biomes of this map where the pool is actually frozen, and that's really scary. I haven't seen them yet in the league though, so I don't know what players would do, but it can happen. Alright, has Ray found his opponent yet? No, he has not. It's a pretty good assumption that your opponent is going to be directly across from you for like fairness purposes. But got to go figure out exactly what they've got going on, figure out how their forest clumps are arranged, figure out where their golds are and stuff like that. This is actually more gold than it seems. This is 1,500 each, so this is actually a 3,000 gold pile. Barracks under construction for Max Power. And it looks like Max Power has come out here and he's going to hunt. And he's not too worried about the bears. I mean, there is some hunt in here that you can take advantage of, but you have to be careful not to get too close to the edge of the map because that's where the bears live. He does have loom. And Max Power has actually not gone after water at all, which is a very interesting choice. He's coming here and to trap Ray. And Ray managing to trap the scout, but he does lose the villager. So that is a good win for Max Power. It's unfortunate for Ray, but Max Power has not docked, and he's just going Lightning Scouts. So Max Power going a Lightning Scouts build, you know, that's bold. He's basically a 19 pop Scouts. He managed to pick off a villager, but Ray has an economic lead because Ray, even though Ray lost a villager, he's got fishing ships. He's building a barracks now because he's worried about that Lightning Scout rush. And Max Power is going to come. He's going to come with the Magyar Scouts that get a free bonus attack, which is probably why he was able to do this. Now, it's not like they get it for free. It comes in the form of... Well, they do get it for free. But it's not like Burmese where they just get extra attack. With the Magyars, they get the attack upgrades for cavalry and infantry for free. So he can't research on top of what he has, but he gets the research for free, and he doesn't have to build a blacksmith to get it. So it's actually a pretty good bonus if you can take advantage of it. Ray's built a fire ship here. He's kind of probably surprised that his opponent has not docked, and seeing that his opponent has not docked, Ray's going to build another dock, and he's going to capitalize on the pond. I don't know that there's too much fish left, but I guess if he doesn't go over 2 docks, it's probably fine. Ray's exploring Max Power's base with a cow. Exploring back here. I don't see that Max Power has any villagers on the stone. That makes sense. Neither player does. It's kind of a big thing to invest in. These villagers going hunting in the woods, I'm not... It seems like they're pretty far away from the mill. I would assume that he's going to build another mill. He's got 1 scout in the stable. Alright, he's got more scouts over here. He's looking for some damage. Now, Ray is ready for him, though. Ray has walled to the oasis. He's walled in his wood line. He's walled in his gold. And the other villagers are underneath the town center. So, I don't know that Max Power is actually going to get much value out of these scouts. He did the Lightning Scouts build, but for whatever reason, he wasn't really able to get over here in time to do anything. So he is going to be annoying, and he's going to attack this palisade wall. And Ray will deploy some spearmen to fight these scouts away. I like how this scout is fighting the fire galley. Yeah, I don't know. Let's take a look at the villager count. So Ray with a 6 villager lead, and it's probably all fishing ships. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. It's actually 7. Yeah, it's all fishing ships basically. And let's see here. Ray actually has the resources to go up to the Castle Age. So he's going to build himself a market. He's already got an archery range. And Max Power has to go home. The bear is going to interfere with this operation, but the lady just shanks it. And he's just able to hunt freely in here as the Magyars, which I think is what he wanted. So Ray's up to Castle Age now. And Max Power has not clicked yet. He's investing in archers, which is an interesting choice. Ray has actually expanded outside of his little box. And if Max Power adds some archers, he's got some archers here. This could be very bad. Now Ray scouts the archers, so he sees it and he heads back, so he knows that the enemy has some archers moving through the forest, and he builds a tower, which is really smart. And he knows, alright, this gold is not safe anymore. My opponent's going to come over here and harass this gold because I can only afford one tower. So he smartly deletes the palisade wall, and he heads back to build a stable. He knows that he's going to be in Castle Age pretty soon, and so maybe with the stable he's thinking knights. Knights are pretty good against everything that is a feudal age unit, essentially. And he's also building a blacksmith. So the blacksmith will allow him to get knight armor upgrades, and that'll basically make his knights unkillable to the Magyars. At least within reason, right? The Magyars could eventually take it down, but if he can get the armor upgrades, he can offset the free attack upgrades from Magyar spearmen or scouts or something. So Max Power camping some archers right here. I mean, he can't get as close as he wants, but maybe he can deny a few trees. Ray, okay, so Ray deciding, I'm going to build this town center here to secure my gold. I still have over 2,000 gold here that I can secure. And these archers are going to be kind of annoying, but it's only 3 archers. And if he throws a bunch of villagers at the foundation, you know, he can get that town center up. So Max Power has definitely been way more aggressive, and Ray has been playing more of an eco game. And I think Max Power is kind of reflecting on the last game. He's like, you know, I really don't want to let this guy do his thing in eco. Because he was at one point 1900. He's got good macro. He's got good micro too. And I need to see if I can punish that that booming greed. And yeah, Ray has run out of fish here. I guess he's got one fish over there. He's got another one over here. But he's built fish traps. So Ray's food economy is actually over here. It's on the water. And Max Power is nearly Castle Age himself. Ray with a big score lead. But the score can be a little bit deceptive, and I think that it is that way because of the fishing ships. I think the fishing ships inflate Ray's score a lot. Let's check the eco, though. Ray is at 48, and Max Power, aka Mark Landers, is at 39. So Ray definitely has an economy bonus. Now, what's Max Power going to do with Castle Age once he gets there? He's actually going into Cavalry Archer, which is sort of a strange choice. But it could work out well for him. Ray has made a knight. It's like he's sending this knight over to see what his opponent's up to. Maybe do some raiding himself. I don't know if Ray has discovered... Yeah, Ray doesn't... He's discovered his opponent's base, but he hasn't been over here in a while. So he's going to come over and see what's up, which is a good idea. Might even reveal what his opponent is doing with the Castle Age. He's probably thinking the same thing that we are, and he's going to see these Cav Archers, and then he'll know. Okay, so now Ray knows that his opponent is going Cavalry Archers. And he pulls his units back, and he's like, alright, well, I'm going to need more knights to deal with this. So he throws down a stable, and he's getting bloodlines. So I think Ray is realizing, oh snap, you know, Cav Archers, and he's going to invest, which is a good call. Because if Ray had spent these resources on like another town center, it would be pretty bad. Now the Cav Archers, unfortunately for Ray, they could do a lot of damage to these fishing ships. I think that Ray should build like I seriously think Ray should build a stone wall like right here. I think you should build a stone wall right here, and you should let the cav archers funnel into the town center. Because right now, the cav archers can just run right in here and kill all of these fishing ships. And I hope that doesn't happen. I mean, we are rooting for the little guy, right? We are rooting for max power here, because Ray won the last game. But I don't want to see Max... Oh, and look at this. Ray reading my mind. Going back in time, reading my mind, and building some stone walls here. Max power... He doesn't see this. Okay, so he's not going to deny it. But yes, this is a very good idea. So max power... I don't know that he's gotten too many villager pickoffs yet. Still going in for the map control with these cavalry archers. This town center, I think, was pretty important for Ray. Otherwise, his wood option would have been to refresh this lumber camp. And this is kind of an exposed position. I don't really think you want to be in here, right? You want a nice town center for your units to gather from. And a lot of this is actually kind of closed off, too. So the cav archers kind of have to go around the outside. I don't think they can slip through here. There might be a gap. We'll see. Let's watch them. Hard to tell with all the bushes. But yeah, the cav archers... Oh no! There's a hole in the wall! There's a hole in the wall. That's not good at all. Now the good news for Ray is that these cav archers pathed wonkily, and they only kill one villager, and so now Ray is forced to build a siege workshop to deal with them, and he also has to figure out how they got in, or maybe he didn't see them. But yeah, he needs to finish the wall here. He's going to build a scorpion. There's also a house, so he's got to build the house too. He's coming back to this lumber camp. He does have... he's got a few wood he can take. Now, Ray doing a raid on max power. It looks like he's going on the offensive with some Lithuanian knights. Looking for some damage. Does Ray know? Ray does not know about this town center back here. I mean, even if he did, I don't know that he could really comfortably fight near it. Because the cav archers are in sufficient numbers to drive Ray away. Looks like these stones are open. I mean, this town center here could be an opening to come over here onto this stone later. Not sure what this palisade wall is all about. This is some pretty unfortunate timing for Ray, though. Max power basically finding 20 villagers out of position and shooting them like fish in a barrel. Ray sends his knights. This would be a really great town center for wood as well. Surrounded by trees, basically. Let's do a villager check. So Ray definitely still has the villager lead. He's got 73 villagers to max power's 59. And he's going to add another dock, because why not? You know, he feels that he has water control. His opponent is not attempting to take water. He has a comfortable lead, so he's going to add another dock and make some more fishing ships. Instead of farms, I guess. He's going to build an outpost here to keep an eye on his opponent. See if there are cavalry archers that swoop in here. The bear has something to say about it, though. So Max Power has definitely played a more aggressive game here. He's only on 2 town centers. And Ray is adding his 4th town center and 3rd dock. So Max Power, he really needs to make stuff happen if he's going to win this game, because Ray's villager lead is growing. He does get the jump on Ray, kills a couple of villagers. Lucky to have these knights here to soak the arrow fire. And Ray, realizing he forgot to wall this off. He does have a palisade wall started here. So Ray will probably reassign these fishing ships back to the fish traps once he sees the cavalry archers come down over here. And Max Power deciding to build a dock now. Ray is on patrol, so he is gonna... the fire ship is going to see it. Yeah, now Ray coming back to work on the fishing ships, but he's going to spot the dock now. So we'll probably see Ray make some more ships of his own. But he needs a better gold situation. He's not on gold, actually, which is unfortunate for Ray. He's got one villager on gold, and it's right here. He is heavily on stone, though. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh. And Mark Lander's coming this way, so Ray needs to defend this stone. Otherwise, these villagers are going to go down. And Ray, seeing these cavalry archers, yeah, he's got to run. He wanted to build the tower, but it's too late. Sending his knights to the rescue. A castle would be good for Ray. It would help him secure his holdings. But this rocky, craggy ridge is a tough place to take a fight with cavalry archers. The cavalry archers are chased off, or most of them are. Ray's going to go on this gold instead. And Ray has to make more fire galleys. He has 3 docks, and Max Power has 2 docks. So theoretically, he can outproduce Max Power, but he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. He's got to make sure he doesn't get housed, and that he continuously queues and has the resources, etc. Ah. So he sinks one fire ship. This fire ship's going to go help out. Meanwhile, this fire ship at only 15 HP is killing like a ton of fishing ships. So now Ray needs to... yeah, he's going to come back here and attack that. These knights are not able to get at these cavalry archers. Yeah, they got to pull back. Wonder if Ray would consider going into skirmishers. The Lithuanian skirmishers are faster. They could maybe keep up with the cavalry archers better. And they wouldn't have to worry about pathing awkwardly through all these forests. There's too many cavalry archers here. Alright, so Ray has placed a sufficient investment in fire ships now. We can kind of burn these docks. He's getting a good raid here. This is really good for Ray. Max Power taking wood here, or he was, but not anymore. And with that raid, we'll take the score lead with that raid. Max Power going to add another town center to secure his wood. So these guys are hitting each other both pretty hard. Ray's pretty lucky that Max Power hasn't hit that gold. I think it's because Max Power doesn't know about the gold, but he does know that there's a mining camp there, so he could go over there and check it out. But Max Power has a pretty unbeatable looking army of cavalry archers, and it seems like wherever this army is, Ray cannot exist. So Ray is going to have to be careful about that. Ray's actually in Imperial Age, and Max Power has just reached Imperial Age himself. Max Power, I think he ejected by mistake, because he's vastly outnumbered here. Or maybe one of the docks was about to go down, and so he ejected both just to give himself a better shot. Let's see how Ray's armor is on the Knights. He's actually got decent armor upgrades on the Knights. But he's not really... he's very outnumbered, so he can't really stick around. His opponent has built a castle in this corner and is taking stone. So the castle is kind of supposed to protect this gold and protect this. Kind of just keep an eye on this. I think this might be mostly walled off here, although it's difficult to tell. And you can't wall the ridge closed. Ray has found this gold here and he wants it. So he's coming out here. He's fighting some bears for it, though. I feel like Ray could almost stonewall this at this point, just to secure his military. Seems that Ray is going to go into Cavalier. Has he gotten any relics, though? Nope, no relics. That relic is still there, and Ray hasn't gotten this relic. Ray should try to get into the relics if he can. I know that his opponent is really taxing his APM, though. Or at least, you know, his opponent's being pretty annoying, right? His opponent is not just sitting back. His opponent's playing very aggressively. And so Ray's got to be careful. And APM is a resource. And Ray sees this army coming, and so he's like, well, alright, time to flee. He is not on this stone, but he is on this gold. And because Ray fled, these villagers survived. These cavalry archers did not get here in time to kill the villagers, so Ray's gonna... Yeah, he's like, alright, I'm tired of this. We're going Lithuanian skirms. So he's throwing down a bunch of ranges. He's got to kind of kite and withdraw and try to bait these cavalry archers into staying away from his ranges. So that he doesn't find these, so that these can go up. And skirmishers are very good. Ranged units are very good fighting within the forest. Whereas there's plenty of open spaces for cavalry outside of it. So it's like, you know, it's not like a normal Arabia map where maybe each unit is more well-rounded. It's more like ranged units are very good in the forest, and melee units are very good outside of it. And Ray calls the GG. His opponent just raiding him to death. Max Power did have the lead. I mean, Ray had won on water. He had 71 villagers, and Max Power actually... No, he had 85 villagers total. Max Power had 90. So it was quite close, but it was difficult for Ray to secure the resources that he needed. Maybe it would have been a different game if Ray had come out here to stone a little bit earlier, built himself a couple of towers on the stone, or built a castle in front of it, similar to the way that Max Power did. Because remember that a lot of these town centers were bought, right? Or at least the stone for them was bought. Because he built the tower, and he didn't really come out to stone until later, so he was buying the stone that he needed. But still, I thought that this was a pretty good game. I would recommend it to anybody. Mark Lander's playing really well. Just going very aggressive on Ray, not giving Ray the opportunity to do his thing. And that was the mistake he made the first game, and Ray overpowered him. So Mark Landers, aka Max Power, with 116 units killed and 79 lost. Ray's 2 buildings lost none, and largest army of 45, and most of them were cavalry archers, whereas Ray's largest army of 19 was mostly cavaliers or knights. So Ray had better food and wood collected, but Max Power had better stone and gold collected. And also Max Power winning without making a single fishing ship, which is pretty impressive. Ray with faster Castle Age and Imperial Age times, but Max Power with better map exploration, Max Power with better map exploration and research count, and better Feudal Age time. Villager high of 93 for Ray, 1 castle for Max Power. You can see the Max Power slowly throttling Ray on this one with the aggression. It's actually a surprisingly open map. So there you guys go. 2 sets. We did Biscuits versus Metal Mania, and then we did Ray versus Max Power. And I thought that both sets were really good. We got to see a different map every single game. We got to see some unique civilizations in play too, especially with that second set. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I encourage you to stay tuned for more Alchemy League content on this channel as well as on Hyder's channel. And with that, I'll leave you, say goodnight, and guys, thank you so much for joining, and hopefully I will see you again next time. Thanks, everybody.